Hey folks, it's Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all the things to do. Today's first package for Retro Hunting Adventures is pretty exciting for me because this is the last Super Famicom Mega Man game, or as they're known in Japan, Rockman games, that I didn't have complete in box. I had a loose copy of it, but not one that I could put out on display. I suppose you can call that shelf candy, but when your name is Mr. MegaManFan, you're probably going to have some Mega Man shelf candy, am I right? So this is shelf candy for me, and once I get it out of the package here, I'll be able to show all of you. And man, I probably paid more than the price charting average, but it was such a nice copy that I felt it was worth a little bit of a premium, so I haggled with the seller. I actually got it down $15 from their Buy It Now listing, and I think we made a fair compromise in the middle, more than price charting, but less than they listed it for. Sorry, tongue-tied all of a sudden, I don't know why. Happens, I guess, but maybe that's just because I'm excited watching this footage again, seeing what I bought. And let's pull it out. We have Rockman Soccer. That's right, Mega Man Soccer in the United States, but Rockman Soccer in Japan. This is probably not anybody's favorite Mega Man game, which is why it took me so long to finally getting around to getting a complete inbox copy. I was a lot more concerned about getting X3, X2, X7, and Rockman and Fort. So this was the last one. And like I said, it's a super nice condition copy. The flaps are nice, the sides are nice, the front and the back are nice. There's almost no cosmetic wear. Maybe a little, but not much. And of course, since this is complete in box, we have to open the box and take a look inside to make sure that the game, the manual, the warranty card, all of that stuff are inside. And not only are they all in there, the game is still in its original bag, which you don't often see, but when I said this was a really nice copy, I meant it. Everything about this was, chef's kiss, just beautiful. So I'm very happy with it. I'm sure that I'll get a message from Ryan asking me what I spent. Don't leave it in the comments, bro. Just message me privately and I'll discuss with you what the seller listed it for, what the price charting average was, and what I paid, which fell somewhere squarely in the middle. But now I will put this in a protective sleeve since it is going to be shelf candy. Don't worry, I will test the game, but just for now, while I'm going through this video, I'm going to have it display ready, and then I'll get to the testing later on. I've got some GameCube games I'm going to want to test before that, so one thing at a time. Let's just get this top flap closed. Retro Protect. My friend Dan, as always, is really good about getting really nice boxes wherever he sources them from. So big up to Dan. And once again, it's very satisfying to hold a complete Super Famicom game in your hand. It's kind of hard to beat. But that's not all we have to open today. We've got some more pieces of mail to go through, so let's get right back into it. Grab the old scissors, and we will open up this very shiny looking package and see what's inside, which I suspect will be a Dreamcast game based on the size and the weight. Yep. It looks like it is. Felt like it was a CD gem case in there. And we have Surf Rocket Riders. It's kind of the wave race of Sega Dreamcast. And if you told me they were the same developer, I would actually believe you. It's pretty close. This one was actually an offer made by the seller after I put it on my watch list. I believe they offered $28.99 free shipping, and that was a little under the price charting average even when you factor in tax, so I said yes. Now, this piece of mail here was crammed into my mailbox so firmly that I didn't think I was going to be able to get it out. I had to drop every other piece of mail that I was holding, grab onto it with both hands, brace one foot on the mailbox pole, and pull with the might of Zeus. I'm not kidding, it was crammed in there good, which made me wonder what kind of condition it was going to be in. But as you can see, the seller bubble wrapped this copy of Disney's Hide and Sneak, and it doesn't look like it was damaged inside the box, inside the bubble wrap. Everything here looks the way it's supposed to. And let's take a look at that disc too. Make sure. Yeah, the disc looks pretty clean, so I have a feeling this is going to be a working game, but I will of course test it. And the other game that I've got in this other envelope here, we're going to test two GameCube games today. Not going to do the Dreamcast, not going to do the Super Famicom, just these two GameCube games. So let's get this one open as well, and you'll see what's inside as I continue to whittle down the list of GameCube games that I need. It's getting pretty small at this point, but there were some that I held off on just because they were more expensive, and Batman Rise of Sin Tzu was one of them. But this too was a negotiated offer between the eBay auction listing and the price I paid. It was only a few dollars off, but a few dollars off put it right at or near the price charting average at the time of sale, so I was satisfied with it. The disc, it looks like there might have been something on the top that was removed and took off a little of the surface artwork, but as long as the disc works, I'm okay with that because it's complete in the box with the manual, so I can deal with a little top surface wear. It's the data underneath that I don't want to be scratched, worn, or damaged, and I think the disc itself underneath is fine. You'd be amazed how many copies of Rise of Sin Tzu get listed as disc only or box no manual. They don't tend to come complete like this, so it really was just too good to pass up. So let's go test those GameCube games, shall we? Now, you're going to have to forgive me that I'm muting the audio for this one, but I will tell you that it worked. I listened to it and it sounded the way it's supposed to, but given some of the issues I've had lately with copyright trolls flagging little snippets of things, I'm just not taking any chances with the DC animated universe on this one. I think if you remember the theme from Batman the Animated Series and you hear it in your head right now, then you've got an idea of what I'm hearing watching these cutscenes to open the game. Although I would say this is based on the later generation of Batman Animated when Robin and Batgirl were part of the team, so not the original Batman Animated Series, but pretty close. It's fun. I don't mind that version of it, so you get a language selection here, and then it saves a profile to your GameCube card. You select a mission, you select your character, and then Bob's your uncle, as they say. Everything was as expected. Wanted to get through a few of the cutscenes to make sure the disc was running the way it's supposed to, and this rather moody cutscene to open is called Where It All Began. We see Bruce Wayne visiting the spot in the city where his parents were killed, so you can kind of take it from there. But yes, this was a tested and working game, so I am satisfied. And since I don't believe that Disney, ABC, ESPN, UFC is any less litigious than DC Animated Universe or any other media property out there, I'm going to just not take chances with Disney's hide and sneak either, especially since the timelessly familiar voices of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse can be heard in the opening cutscene and in some of the gameplay. Now, this one, I was happy to see that Capcom was the developer on this, but I was also a little confused that during the actual gameplay, they didn't put in any kind of options. Like, you could hit start to pause the game, and that's it. You couldn't exit to a menu. You couldn't save your progress. You couldn't load progress. You couldn't choose your camera options. You literally only had one thing you could do: start pause and start to unpause. Like, okay, Capcom made a lot of classic Disney games for NES and Super Nintendo that were equally limited in what you could do during a menu. You could pause and unpause those games, but that was 8-bit and 16-bit generation. This is not. And it says it's creating a memory card save file, so you would think you'd be able to save your game, but apparently the game only saves when it wants you to, not when you want it to. You just have to complete enough progress for it to autosave. And for the purpose of testing it, I didn't want to wait that long until I finally found the trigger that would autosave, so that didn't happen. But I will say the premise of the game is pretty interesting. It's like the stealth parts of a Metal Gear Solid game, if you can believe that or not. I know it's weird, but it does combine those into a Disney friendly animated setting where there's this alien mushroom spaceship, saucer, UFO, whatever you want to call it, named Lulu. And Lulu is very angry, so you have to sneak around Lulu to rescue Minnie, or if you're playing as Minnie, presumably rescue Mickey. But either way, you tiptoe through the tulips to try not to disturb Lulu, because if you do, you're busted and you gotta start the level over. But you can hide in pots and boxes and jump out of the range of being seen, like when the guards in the Metal Gear Solid game get the exclamation point over their head that they're alert you're nearby. You can sneak out of view or hide behind an object so their radar doesn't go off. Same kind of premise here with Lulu. You just have to move out of sight. And I could see this being fun in short increments. It's just the fact that I can't save or load when I want is just a little too obnoxious for my liking. But I'm glad it's a tested and working game. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in another video, but bye for now.